Welcome back. Let's put this in the ether. All right. Men are more able to bypass beauty in women than it is for women to bypass beauty in men. What do I mean by that? All right. Well, women, right? First thing they see is their looks, right? To a guy, right? To guys, their looks. Same goes for a guy. I understand that. Guys are we are vanity creature. We judge people by the look, right? First impression matters, right? But for some reason, I think that women aren't willing to bypass a man's look as it is for men to bypass a woman's look. All right. Why do I say that? I say that because I've seen a lot of relationship where the women aren't even that great, but they have a man. All right, meaning that their facial figures aren't even that great, right? Meaning by I've seen a lot of men who are willing to marry a, let's say, plus size persons, or willing to marry a um a not too attractive person, right? I've seen a lot of that happen, right? I see a lot of that guys are willing to marry overweight women, right? I've seen a lot of that happening, right? They're willing to do that. That's why I come to the conclusion that guys are willing to bypass beauty easily than it is for women to bypass beauty in a man. All right, and because of that, guys are willing to lower guys are easier to lower their standards when it comes to dating women because they understand if they won't get a mate, their probability of starting a family are low. That's why a guy, if he really wants to start a family, he start lowering his standards. That's why you see a lot of his relationship with men are uh, aesthetically unpleasing women. And I was like, wow, well, it's like that, right? He's probably desperate. It's not. It's probably has something to do with desperation as well, right? Desperate as well. But it shows me that guys are willing to compromise, right? I don't see that a lot of women. I hardly see that with women, right? This is why a lot of women are a lot of them are single because they're inability to compromise on a guy's looks, a guy's standard. This is why it leads to a lot of women being undateable, unapproachable, unrealistic when it comes to the dating market. They're not willing to lower their standard down. They're not willing to compromise with a man. All right? They're not willing to do so, not unless money is a factor. I see. It's not like girl. It's not like. Hold on, let me say it over. It's not like I'm not seeing any women with unattractive men. There are them out there, right? There are supermodel women who are with unattractive men, but those are usually caused by financial reasons. He's a provider, right? He have money. He got incentive, right? These are the reason what makes a beautiful woman, a trophy wife, date aesthetically unpleasing man. I seen that, right? I can't elude that fact. But when it comes to regular men, right, and regular women are least likely to compromise to date average men. But the average man will easily compromise to date aesthetically unpleasing women. I'm trying not to say ugly. All right, yeah, I see that all the time. I see a lot of guys out there who went, fours and threes. A lot of them because they're willing to put it aside. Because if they don't, they're not going to spread on their lineage. They're not going to have a kid, right? Guys are willing to compromise with a woman's beauty because they don't want to be alone. Because they want to start a family. Women are willing to do that. Right? Few women are willing to do that. I'm not saying them entirely. I'm not saying all. Right? But few women are willing. Majority of women aren't willing to compromise. Right? They want their tens men, their 6 foot tall men. Right? They don't understand that this is hurting them. Sometimes I don't want to say you have to lower the standard. Of course, you have to have some kind of standard, but you got to be realistic as well. Right? What are the chances of you meeting that one guy out there that's willing to work with you, right? Who knows? Maybe this aesthetically unpleasing guy, or his personality and his morals and ethics are the right type of guy for you, and he's treating you like a queen. How do you know that if you're not giving this guy a chance, right? But no, time after time they have all these unrealistic expectations, and they always think themselves as a 10, right? Not realizing they're probably lower on the totem pole. when it comes to scaling. So they have this unrealistic expectation. They're not willing to compromise. They're not willing to slightly lower their standards. Because if they don't lower the standards, they're not willing to compromise. It's going to lead them to more miseries. It's going to make them. They can remember, time is not a girl's best friend. They can, every day they're getting older, and every day there's a woman turned 18, right? So competing constantly with another woman, the longer she stays single. They don't understand that. The longer they stay single, the more competition are entering the playing field, right? More players are in the playing field. They don't understand the concept, right? So time is not in their hands. So because of that, most likely the projection is they will stay single because they're not willing to lower their standards. Guys, they're easy to work with. They're willing to work with you, right? It's just women aren't giving guys any opportunity, any times or places, right? I understand some guys don't have game, right? I understand that. That's the reason why some guys are single, right? But that doesn't negate the fact that why women are the number of women are single is so high. Sometimes women have to lower their standards, right? I'm not saying entirely. Of course, you have to have some kind of standard. The guys have to be clean, nice. Clean shaving, right? Have a job. But are you willing to risk your life, your future, because of your unrealistic expectation in a mate? Right? The 1%, not 1% guy. Those guys with six figures, the 1 millionaires and all that stuff, that 6 foot tall, those only make what? 5% of the men's populations. Most guys out there are just 5'8", 5'7" tall men. They're not 6 feet tall. There are more 5'7" men out there than all 6 foot tall men out there. So you gotta understand the expectation. You gotta be realistic, ladies. If ladies are watching my videos, all right. You gotta be realistic and understand your own value as well. Because most of these women, they're not gonna meet those 6 feet tall men who make a 6-figure salary, who make $1 million a week. They're not gonna meet that, all right. And if they do meet those guys, your chances of being with them are very slim because they have all the options in the world. Why are they going to choose you? Remember, you are competing with younger women as well. The older you get, right? Your beauty fades. Your beauty's don't last forever. Right? Your vanity fades, right? So this is the problem that people are facing right now. Relationship are facing. These are the type of dilemma people are facing, right? If people don't get their act together, right, and have a more realistic standards of getting a mate, maybe they wouldn't have this problem, right? Maybe the single rate isn't this high. There are a lot of single women out there, and they're only getting older. The longer you are single, ladies, right? Ladies, the longer you are single, the likely for you to find a mate. Remember, you have not infinite, a finite amount of eggs as well. Your reproductive value is very low too. Why do a guy have mates? Right? He want to have a family, right? He wants to have a family. Why is he willing to lower his standard? Because he's willing to have a family, right? And these women that's aesthetically unpleasing, right? I don't want to say they take what they get, but they realize they can't get that much out of a man, so they're willing to get any man that's willing to date them, right? So it all comes down to reproductions. Do you want to start a family? You want to start a family? You can't start a family fast. You gotta get the man that's willing to want you. But if your standard is that high, right? If your standard is that high, if it's so vague, superficial, expect to be single forever. Because if you don't lower your standards and be realistic, that's your future. Old lady with a cat. But these are the type of things that's going on in the world right now. People or women's expectation on a man are so unrealistic that they're willing to sacrifice their future, their happiness of getting that one perfect man, not realizing there's no such thing as a perfect man, and there's no such thing as a perfect woman. There's no such thing as a perfect person, right? It's all about compromising who you're willing to put up with. right? And I guess they're not willing to put up with a guy who's average. So I guess the future is loneliness forever. I guess, but I don't know. That's something had to change. They have to change their standards if they want to be happy. But on that note, guys, if I missed something, leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe. On that note, guys, peace and blessings.